Now on the CTV News at 5, gas prices are going up across Alberta because of the conflict in the Middle East. Plus, a Lethbridge man is charged in a collision that sent a senior to hospital with life-threatening injuries. And preparing for Green Shirt Day.
Telling your stories. CTV News Lethbridge with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. We're glad you could join us. Conflict in the Middle East is driving up prices at the pumps here at home. Now, this latest increase may be tough, but it is only expected to get worse. Quinn Keenan explains.
Motorists likely got a nasty surprise at the start of their work week. Locally, gas prices jumped about 10 cents since the weekend. The average price in Lethbridge now sits at $1.25 per litre.
I sure wish I had better news for motorists when it comes to the price point of gas at the local convenience store or gas station. Unfortunately, I don't. And it is a direct result of what's taking place between Israel, Iran, and the United States, and the ongoing conflict or war as an interchangeable word there for all intents and purposes.
It's difficult to predict exactly how prices will react to the ongoing conflict. But analysts say drivers should prepare for more price hikes. It's impossible to say just how high prices might reach.
It's easy to role play, but very difficult to get it right when it comes to scenarios. It is, and there are so many potential scenarios in a war footing and a war setting that could happen, which could move prices back and forth when it comes to crude oil and wholesale gasoline prices.
It's been a hectic couple days for local gas stations. They're all keeping an eye on gas prices and each other to determine their own prices.
Yeah, it's super busy. We're keep checking prices and keep know what's going up and down and stuff like that. Customers probably should expect to keep seeing those prices up and down and checking daily.
Stations know customers will likely be frustrated with the higher prices. But until the situation in the Middle East settles down, there isn't much that can be done locally.
We're just constantly monitoring all the gas prices in town, constantly getting prices.
Lethbridge's average gas price is still lower than the Alberta average of $1.31 per litre. Quinn Keenan, CTV News, Lethbridge.
Albertans are paying the second most for auto insurance in the country. That's according to Alberta's Automobile Insurance Rate Board. The average annual premium in our province last year was over $1,800. That's around $800 more than PEI, which has the lowest rate. The difference is attributed to severe weather, along with litigation fees to settle claims. In 2020, the average bodily injury claim averaged around $83,000. Today, it's more than $140,000.
About 57% of your insurance premium goes toward what's called bodily injury coverage, which is the coverage that applies in the event that you're sued for injuries that you cause in a collision. And that has been jumping, and that's what's putting pressure on premiums.
Starting in 2027, the Alberta government is bringing in no-fault insurance. That means claims through your insurance company, not the courts. The province believes that will eventually cut down on premiums. Alberta's utilities minister says the province could see its first nuclear project launch within 5 to 10 years. Nathan Neudorf mentioned the timeline during a keynote address at the SMR Nuclear Canada Summit. The two-day event started today in Calgary, bringing together industry representatives, regulators, and policymakers. Neudorf says while the province is still in the consultation and public engagement phase, there are private entities interested in building nuclear projects in Alberta. Now, meanwhile, a recall petition against Lethbridge East MLA Nathan Neudorf has been declared ineligible. Elections Alberta says no signature sheets were submitted by the end of the 90-day canvassing period. Neither CTV nor any other media has been able to contact the person behind the petition, Ryan Tanner. As far as we're aware, no one was able to actually sign the recall petition. Speculation has ranged from an attempt to sabotage a legitimate petition to Neudorf himself being involved. There is no proof to the rumors, and Neudorf has denied the allegations. Gina Martin has the forecast for us tonight. And Gina, it is looking like we're in for another week of spring-like weather.
We definitely are. And the thing with spring-like weather is, yes, it comes with a lot of good, some warmth, some sunshine, but it comes with some drastic turns as well. We're seeing that in parts of the province today. A little bit of flurry activity around the capital region there. Sunny and warm more south you go, but a cold front is edging more towards the Calgary area and will cool things off in the extreme south as well, though we're sitting really nicely right now at 16 degrees. Nice clear conditions for the most part. A little windy out there from the southwest right now at 33 kilometers an hour, dropping down to those winds around 20 tonight with a low of 0. And then a little bit of a cooler day tomorrow, Jackie, at 5, but more double-digit temperatures are in store for the weekend.
All right. Thank you, Gina. A senior is in hospital in critical condition, and a 56-year-old Lethbridge man is charged with impaired driving after a pedestrian collision. It happened just before 4 p.m. yesterday at the intersection of 13th Street and 3rd Avenue North. A 78-year-old male pedestrian was taken to hospital by EMS with significant head injuries and then later transferred to Calgary. Police say, according to their investigation, a Dodge Ram truck was traveling east on 3rd Avenue, then proceeded to turn south onto 13th Street when it collided with the senior. Joseph Cameron Brewster is charged with impaired driving causing bodily harm and driving over .08. Brewster was released from custody and is scheduled to appear in court on April the 29th. More than 4,000 Canadians are currently waiting for an organ transplant. About 250 people die each year just waiting. The launch of the 6th annual Green Shirt Day campaign is hoping to decrease those numbers and get more people to sign their organ donor card. Carson Marsouk reports.
It's been nearly 8 years since the Humble Broncos bus crash claimed the lives of 16, including Lethbridge's Logan Boulet.
People expect that after a certain period of time you're supposed to be, everything's better. Well, it's not. It's the same thing. And that's partly what I talked about my pin. It's like Groundhog Day in the morning, and it's like Groundhog Day at the end of the night. Everything in the middle of the day changes, but in the morning you wake up the same way. Logan's not going to call me today. And at nighttime, I haven't called Logan today.
But his legacy is living on through the annual Green Shirt Day campaign. Shortly before the crash on his 21st birthday, Logan signed his organ donor card, a decision that helped save the lives of 6 people and ignite the Logan Boulet effect.
Things that we cherish probably the most is we think about like being in a place like this where there's windows and you think, oh, he's probably looking at us saying, oh, this is too much. I don't deserve this. It was just the right thing to do. But what we are always humbled by is that people continue to want to know his story and continue to want to know about him.
The movement inspired nearly 150,000 people across Canada to register as organ donors in the 2 months following the crash. This year's campaign is themed "One Decision Can Create a Lasting Ripple Effect."
This cause is so vital and so important in Canada.
Joyce Van Derzen says 90% of people say they would become an organ donor, but less than half have actually registered.
There's over 4,000 Canadians currently on the organ transplant waiting list that the clock is ticking every day until they get that transplant, and over 70% of them are waiting for a kidney.
This campaign launch features a new logo. Along with raising awareness, the Boulets say Logan's story has continued to make the conversation around organ donation easier and more common.
Everybody wants to have a legacy. Well, Logan has left behind a legacy of kindness.
Carson Marsouk, CTV News, Lethbridge.
To celebrate Green Shirt Day next month, the Boulet family will be hosting a free public skate at the Logan Boulet Arena on April the 7th from 4:30 until 6:30. Alberta doctors are calling on the province to follow its own rules regarding triage liaison physicians. The plan would have placed doctors into emergency rooms to help move patients through faster. It was in response to the death of a man who waited hours for care in an Edmonton hospital. The doctors were promised under the master agreement between the province and Alberta Medical Association, but never materialized. The province and the AMA blame each other for lack of communication and not following agreed upon processes.
There's 2 sides to this, and I take accountability for our side of it. We did implement the position. We did accept the after-hours modifier. We have looked into the concerns of reliability, and we'll continue to work with the AMA on each of these points. And I would also ask that they continue to work with us to get it done for patients.
The province had earmarked $20 million in the budget to implement triage liaison physicians. Lethbridge fire crews responded to a fully engulfed vehicle fire near a city park early this morning. Firefighters from 3 stations were dispatched shortly after 1 a.m. to an area near the entrance of Popson Park. A half-ton truck was engulfed in flames. A small selection of stubble in a nearby field was also burning. Crews quickly brought the fires under control. Wet ground conditions helped limit the grass fire. No one was injured. The cause of the blaze is under investigation. British Columbia is adopting year-round daylight saving time, sparking renewed debate about whether Alberta should follow suit. This Sunday, BC clocks will spring forward for the last time. Remaining on daylight saving time means BC will be matching Alberta from November to March. The East Kootenay and Golden regions are the exception, though, and will continue to change their clocks in line with Alberta. BC's premier says the move will improve overall health, reduce disruptions for families, and provide an extra hour of evening light during the winter.
Doing this spring forward, fall back is not a good thing for our body. So we've been doing this now in Alberta since 1972, and we know there's acute harm that comes with that spring forward in March. Just in the fall, when we fall back, we all get a little bit of extra time, that extra hour, but it's also realigning our circadian clocks with our day-night and with the work schedules.
Danielle Smith says her government will consider whether a similar change is in the best interest of Albertans. It has been asked in a referendum before, most recently in 2021, when 50.2% of Albertans voted to keep the time change. Though Smith says the question wasn't totally clear and we may revisit it again. Artists in Lethbridge are being asked to help turn a daily commute into a landmark experience. The City of Lethbridge has partnered with the Allied Arts Council of Lethbridge to transform the 13th Street underpass. The council is calling on artists to submit qualifications for the multi-element artwork installation in the median of the underpass. The selected artists will design, fabricate, and install a permanent public artwork using the existing low-profile concrete planter frames. Applications are being accepted until April 28th. Local food banks are about to get a big boost in support. Canstruction is making its return to Centre Village Mall. The annual event gets local teams together to build sculptures out of cans. The sculptures are judged on categories such as structural integrity, original design. Most cans are used and more. After the public display, the cans will be donated to local food banks. Last year raised over 10,000 cans and nearly $36,000. Canstruction runs from March the 5th to April the 2nd. Well, right after this break, Gina tells us how long the spring-like weather will last. Plus, an Alberta health organization is looking at an Indigenous health plan.
Welcome back. Skywatch weather here, southwest shot. A lot of cloud today, a little bit of pockets of sunshine and a good amount of warmth, but things are really going back and forth when it comes to temperatures and conditions to begin this new month here. Wanted to show you the 24-hour temperature change, not really impacting the Lethbridge area or regions in the extreme south, but just to the north of us. Calgary today at one point was at a high of 10 degrees, and then late in the afternoon, a cold front moved in and pushed them down back to below freezing. So over the 24 hours, they've had quite the fluctuation in temperatures. And here's the look at that cold front moving in from the north, pushing into areas like Calgary, and will impact areas close to Lethbridge as we progress into the evening. We won't quite get impacted as bad as areas like Calgary is by that cold front, which right now is producing a temperature of -4 in that region. We're still sitting comfortably in the mid-teens, but by tomorrow, more of that cold air is going to be moving into Alberta and enveloping much of the province, and that will influence our temperatures as well, getting us to a high of 5 degrees, still within that nice seasonal range, but definitely cooler than what we're dealing with today. The wind speeds also are showing that story as well. The jet stream is bringing a lot of that southerly air towards the Lethbridge region right now, so we're seeing winds in the extreme south anywhere from 40 to 60 kilometers an hour. But again, the Calgary area, which isn't that far away, is getting those direct north winds right now, quite gusty as well. So just a lot happening right now. That's pre-spring for us here in Alberta. Upper air pattern just shows, again, the story I'm telling you of the fluctuations we're going to be seeing over the next 5 days here. An incoming trough moving in from the states there will create the potential for some flurries late day on Wednesday for the Lethbridge area, but then a ridge starts to move in as we get into late Thursday and into Friday. So we're going to see those double-digit temperatures return for parts of the weekend with some gusty conditions as well. You can see we're positioned right by the jet stream there, producing those strong winds by the time we get into Saturday, but that'll help elevate our temperatures. That's going to be a Chinook-like setup for us by the time the weekend comes around. We also have the potential for thunderstorms for the East Kootenay region, Cranbrook, Fernie by tomorrow. Pretty early in the season for that. But again, that's that pre-spring weather for you as we're starting to see a bit more of that sunshine and variability throughout the day. 0 for the Crow's Nest Pass tonight, and then up to 9 for tomorrow with some winds out of the west at 30 to 50 kilometers an hour. And then in Medicine Hat, you could have some fog this evening, so reduced visibility possible with a low of -6, and then picking up to 5 degrees tomorrow, mainly cloudy with some showers possible in the afternoon, getting to a high of 5. So temperature is really not too bad for the next 5 days here. It's just those conditions are quite all over the place for really from Wednesday to Sunday, and even into Monday next week, we're going to see another transition into some cooler, wetter weather. But before then, Saturday, Sunday, even Friday, some nice double-digit temperatures.
Alberta is experiencing its worst flu season on recent record, which has one emergency room doctor calling for more action from the province.
And then the province, could have probably done a better job trying to get Albertans to get immunized. Just remember, it's a preventable disease by and large. And even if the vaccine strain wasn't perfectly matched, it still reduces the severity.
According to the province's dashboard, 250 people have died from the flu so far this season. That's compared to 236 in all of last year. The province says total cases and severe outcomes have dropped sharply since the December peak. It also plans to spend $140 million next year to strengthen immunization efforts, which include radio, TV, and social media campaigns. Covenant Health is working on an Indigenous health plan. A team has been touring the province, gathering feedback on current concerns and barriers to accessing health care. Covenant Health says it has been told racism is keeping some people from seeking medical help. It's also heard traveling to appointments can be challenging for people in remote communities, especially in northern Alberta.
It's an ambitious goal, but hopefully by the end of the year we can, we'll be able to have a roadmap in how we can do things better.
Covenant Health says the next step includes putting together a report detailing that feedback. Still ahead on the CTV News at 5, some potentially exciting news for local pickleball players. Sports is next. A pickleball facility in Lethbridge may soon be Alberta's first indoor premium pickleball club. TPC Development and Pickle Point Centre have entered into an agreement to collaborate on the potential conversion of the facility into a premium club. TPC will act as the exclusive representative to identify and engage an investor group to support the conversion. Pickle Point is the largest facility in southern Alberta with a roster of 3,000 players. TPC currently has 68 pickleball clubs in the U.S. and Canada. Now, when we think of the Olympics, the spotlight is usually on the athletes, but it's also a big moment for the officials. CTV's Laura Woodward has the story of hockey referees representing Saskatchewan on the world stage.
4 Saskatchewan hockey officials are back on home ice after working the world stage at the Winter Olympics. Sienna Murray and Michelle McKenna refereed, while Alex Clark and Tarrington Wyonzik worked the lines. They were among 10 Hockey Canada officials selected by the International Ice Hockey Federation. The Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League calls it a proud moment for the province.
To see Sienna Murray officiating the biggest women's hockey game of all time so far, obviously what a thrill to know her and to be proud of her.
For McKenna, it was her Olympic debut, a dream she's been chasing since she first started officiating at just 14 years old.
For me, it definitely is the pinnacle of my career so far. So getting selected was a dream come true and something that I've been working towards forever, and it's just pretty amazing to actually kind of achieve that dream.
Clark worked the women's bronze medal game where Switzerland defeated Sweden 2-1 in overtime. Another standout moment came during an Italian game.
So that was fun to see, fun to watch, fun to experience the support that they had, and just the passion in a home country.
She says having 3 Saskatchewan women officiate at the Olympics sends a powerful message.
I think it's a really good tribute to Hockey Saskatchewan and all the leagues that we work together in proving that the development programs they're doing are working, because to have 3 females from Saskatchewan go is unheard of.
Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
We are now 100 days away from the start of the World Cup, but Iran's place at it is now in question. Iran was set to play its 3 group stage matches in the U.S., 2 in California, 1 in Seattle, and now Iran's top soccer official says he is not hopeful about the event. It's not clear if Iran's Soccer Federation will refuse to send its team or if the U.S. government will block Iran from participating. FIFA has declined to comment, saying it will monitor developments. The first game of the tournament will be played June the 11th in Mexico City. 13 games will be played in Canada, with Vancouver and Toronto playing hosts. Still ahead on the CTV News at 5, we take you to Flin Flon, Manitoba to check out an actual snow lodge. A winter initiative in Flin Flon, Manitoba is drawing attention from across Canada and around the world. CTV's Carla Shinkaruk reports.
What may look like simple blocks of ice are actually the building blocks of a bigger winter vision in Flin Flon.
It's living up to its promise because it is profoundly beautiful.
But not just that. This is one of Canada's only snow lodges and is helping to strengthen tourism. But the idea has skeptics because the area has seen such devastation due to wildfires.
This is exactly what we should be doing, is showing resilience and showing the world that even if you go through tough times, you can absolutely do something perhaps a little crazy, but wonderful and fascinating and with excellence.
And travel writer Ashlyn George gives the community huge kudos for taking this on.
To take advantage of our winter season with all the activities that you can do is something that I think more communities need to do. I think Flin Flon, Denair Beach, and Creighton are leading the way when it comes to supporting people who want to come up for winter tourism.
And this engineering marvel built at the local campground required clear ice. The search for that perfect ice led them just meters away.
Well, let me go check this pond that's right near where our project's going to be. And nobody ever thought that would be the place where we're going to use it from.
By sourcing the ice locally, crews streamlined the process and reduced costs, carefully cutting and moving each 100-kilogram block into place. The project incorporates Indigenous artists with history of trapping in the area also represented. The Snow Lodge is already gaining national and international attention with inquiries coming in.
It's a really beautiful beacon of hope and resilience after such a tough year.
It's hoped that an overnight accommodation will be added in the coming years also. Carla Shinkaruk, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Thank you for sharing this time with us. Now here's the early edition of the CTV National News.